good afternoon, good day, hello and welcome to the Dale is Airbrushing show, or whatever you want to call this, I don't know. I'm painting some hats today. Surprise, surprise. Some cool graffiti style hats that I'm stoked about. And we're starting off with DJ Mayo. I don't know, man. I don't make up these names. Hello, Elijah. Hello, Madison. Hello, Mr. Big, Papa Daddy Chulo, Leah, Nicholas, Twins, and RB. And everybody else, welcome to the chat. I'm gonna get started. DJ Mayo. Oh man, that shadow is bad. I didn't think about that. I'll turn this off. Boink. That's still bad. I was trying to fix the lighting with that light, but I didn't test it. I'm dumb. I watched Smo's video today. He just released a good one with some shading tips and etc. That was pretty helpful. Like this over here. What's going on, everybody? Oh, it pops in here. Don't let anyone stop your shine, bro, says Mike. I appreciate it, man. I'm not gonna. Just doing some customer commissions right now. A last minute order came in. They need 7 hats by this weekend, and the mail's been extra slow lately, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock them out today, right away, to make sure they have plenty of time to get there. This actually isn't one of them, but the rest of them over there. It's kind of a warm-up today. I gotta fit this rest of this word in here. I'm kind of running out of room. I went skiing. I didn't hurt myself. I didn't die. I'm sore. What word is this? This word is DJ Mayo. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. I'm kind of not liking the camera placement here that I got going on. But I can't really do anything about that now, can I? I'm just going to work with it. You sore went on Thursday. Yeah, man. It's been like 5 years since I've been skiing, which is like the last time I did any real strenuous activity. I mean, I do, but like I was really in shape in high school, and it's been a while. And I've got a great metabolism and all that, but I don't do a bunch of strenuous activity like I used to. And my body was telling me, hey, I don't like doing this anymore. You need to calm down. What's up, Dylan? I guess he likes mayo on his hamburgers. Yeah, probably. Brittany thinks mayonnaise is the grossest thing in the world, and I don't understand. They specifically said they want the background to be left white, so no background color. I think I'm gonna put an outline around it anyway, but no background. Dylan got himself a RTX 3060 Ti. He's gonna install today. He's super stoked about it. He told me earlier. Now he can play Minecraft in 4K, 144 frames a second. He's just been waiting to put on those shader packs. Dylan is super cracked at Fortnite with ray tracing, Dale. Yeah. What kind of paint do you use? This is Createx paint. Most of it is. I got kind of a mixed bag of paint. There's a lot of different brands. The last year or so, I've tried a lot of different equipment, a lot of different paints and stuff. But I've landed back at Createx simply because it's widely available. It's very consistent. Priced well. You can get it anywhere. It's good paint. And they got a lot of different types. Createx has paint for shirts and hats, and they got paint for hard surfaces, paint for automotive work, and all their paint works together. It's a good brand. Do I do the designs myself? I am doing the designs right now. Why aren't companies calling me? What do you mean? I do designs for companies a lot. I do clothing line work for clothing lines and brands and stuff. I also design logos for companies. I do that digitally usually. I do have work. I got commissioned work all over. And I enjoy it. I enjoy doing all that. I prefer to spend a little more time on my own artwork, as I've said a lot. This camera's got to be in the worst spot in the whole world. I haven't made it yet, guys. I can't. I still have to do commissions. I still have to do not boring, it's all fun, but I still got to do commissions for customers. Paint what the customer wants, not just what I want. Not quite yet. Okay, that's done. Leave the background white, they said. There it is. It's white. That's the start of the day. Let's move into this one, and then I will do the big group order. Badger. The name is Badger. Blue and green. Again, it's always blue and green. And orange in the background. Okay. Let me make an adjustment real quick to some of this. Maybe it'll be better for me. That's probably fine. I don't want to hit my wrist on this microphone. Okay, there we go. That'll work. I think that'll be a little better. Badger, blue and green, B-A-D-G-E-R. B-A-D-G-E-R. I wish this hat was flat, you know. I miscounted how many letters there are. Luckily, this bigger order of the other hats over here are all really short names, which will be cool. I don't want to do two round letters next to each other. I'll make this that type of E. Different one. I'm noticing the average viewer count is going up slightly. I'm excited about it. Thank you guys. Look, I already got a Twitch on there, 2 Facebooks, 46 YouTube visitors or viewers right now. That's marginally higher than normal. I'm stoked to see a little bit of positive growth. I got plenty of subs on YouTube, but as far as people that actually want to see live streams go, that number has always been much smaller. And it's cool that that's picking up a little bit. Even though that number is high, you guys are the MVPs. Gravity feed is easier with hats. I agree, but I don't have 30 gravity fed airbrushes, so I can't have one for each color and all that. If I was primarily a hat painter, that's what I would use for sure. Got a couple collaboration projects in the works and the beginning brainstorming stages that I'm stoked about. Finally starting to pursue some community with graffiti artists, right? I've mentioned it before, I've kind of been painting in a box for a long time, and I'm done with that. Trying to make some friends, and it's good to see that these established, very talented graffiti artists are welcoming in lovingly to their circles a little bit, and I'm stoked to be working on some projects with them. Speaking of cool collaboration projects, one that I'm probably not going to be a part of and probably shouldn't be, I'd be way too nervous to be a part of it, is 1000's got a cool collaboration project that he painted the beginning of his canvas and sent it to Slew. And then Slew is sending it to Doke, and I would be willing to bet Doke's going to send it to Smo. I don't know where it's going to go from there, but it's a really cool project to follow. If you haven't seen that, go search for 1000's artist collaboration video. Check that out. 1000 he's not my favorite artist, but he's definitely my favorite YouTube artist. The production value in 1000's videos is fantastic, and I hope to one day be able to compare to that level of video quality he puts out. That's really awesome. Just a little shout out to him. Dylan says, first podcast episode is coming up Saturday. Let's do it, man. I'm excited. You've been working on this for a while. I'm excited to see where this goes. You've always got way more to talk about than anybody else in the room does. And I think a podcast is a good fit for you, Dylan. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, man. Alright, orange background on this. I know it was just like the last hat, so it's kind of boring. Whoa. How are you, bro? It's Halal Airbrush. Welcome, man. I was chatting with you on Instagram today, I believe. It's so hard to find a good camera angle to paint these hats because it moves around so much, and I always paint, I'm left-handed, so I paint here on the left bottom side of the hat, like if this is facing me, so I have to paint down here, but then there's like a shadow I would put it up here, but it's like opposite of where you're looking, so you can't see things. So this is about the best I can come up with for camera angles on a hat. I apologize. One day when they make video glasses that I can live stream from, I'll hook you up. So are you a different kind of artist? What do you mean? I'm this kind of artist. I don't know. What kind of artist do you think I am? I'm also trying to work around this big old microphone. I'm just trying to get all my excuses ready, you know? Do I remember the video adapt? Yeah, I do remember that. We stuck, I forgot what we used. There's that microphone. Dylan spent a good year over here at Airbrush Customs in the garage with me all the time. In the studio with me all the time. And we did some creative stuff. We were playing with bleach. We were playing with a bunch of galaxies and stuff. We were doing cool stuff. Thank you, friends and families and followers and everybody else. I've got to have the most supportive chat on YouTube. Maybe not the biggest chat, but quality of viewers. I can't imagine. You guys have always been supportive. I love it. I love it. And to think, I've been doing this. I've probably painted. The number sounds crazy, but I've done the math many times. I've probably painted literally 50,000 items in my life. And only here at the last couple months have I been doing this. Like live streaming it. Although you would probably laugh at me more than like be admired by the work if I started streaming earlier. Looking back at my old work, anybody looking back at their old work is always like super judgmental of it, you know? What are you talking about, Dennis? Do you have your own merch store? Yes, I have. Dennis, I've been in business, everybody, for over a decade now. And I've got many platforms and merch stores and avenues of income and artwork. I'm just painting some of the commissions that I've already got and hanging out with you guys while I do it. Done. It's done. Badger's done. It's done. One thing I've never been good at, or had any success at least, is selling merch that is like pre-printed. I've always been able to sell stuff. You guys can't see me in this camera. I've always been able to sell stuff that I paint by hand each time, but every time I try to make a design that's like, I created a design, made a digital graphic, and there it is for print, it's just never as successful. I just splash Kool-Aid on my nose. It's not Kool-Aid. It's a what do I call it? Kool-Aid. We got Jim, Big J, C-Man, Mike, MJ, Ham, and Spence. And these are all the same colors. So the color scheme today is very consistent. But at least we got different names instead of writing the same thing over and over. A decade is 10 years, that's true. Good math. I'm going to start with blue instead of starting with green. I'm going to use this tealy blue, the Maui blue, instead of the royal blue. Okay. Also, while I'm thinking about it, spray gunner, I don't know, it should be popping up. I got the little spraygunner.com you see on the bottom right, not right now, but it'll pop back up. I'm partnered with them. I'm affiliated with them to some degree, and I have airbrush kits set up with them. Go to the link in the description. I'm sure that I put one in the description. I might not have. But there are airbrush kits there that you don't pay more for or anything like that, but I get a kickback on those orders. For airbrush kits, I curated the kits with them, make sure that you have everything that I think that you need to start airbrushing, all the paints and stuff that I recommend to start out with, and this airbrush actually. So if you're looking to get started, find that link in the description and buy from them. They hook me up with airbrush equipment and paint sometimes, and they've been a really great company to work with. The supply store that I had started to use and then kind of didn't. It's still up. It's supply.airbrushcustoms.net, which is my t-shirt company. It's still there, and it just points to Spray Gunner. It's like a curated list of their products, so that you can buy straight from them. So it's cool that I can. My goal was trying to get you guys set up with airbrush equipment when you need it, but not spend a whole lot of time like away from painting, shipping airbrushes and stuff. So the solution to that was just partner with a company that already sells airbrush stuff and make a tiny commission off of those orders. I've already sold a couple kits. I can look at my analytics and see like who's ordered, but a couple kits have already been sold through my affiliate link, and I'm super happy for that. I'd love to see more people start to airbrush. I'm all about people trying this thing. I've heard a lot of negative stuff about airbrushing. A lot of people believe stuff that's not quite true about airbrushing. Not only like that it's old school and boring and lame, but like that you can't get the level of detail and stuff like that. And it's just not true. Airbrushing is a great art form that just isn't used widely. So, obviously you see what I'm doing with it. You can do that too with some practice. I know a lot of graffiti artists that are excellent with spray cans that would also be excellent with an airbrush, and it's much easier to go into your garage and paint something cool than to go find a wall to paint on. And that's a lot cheaper, honestly. Thank you, Dylan. Where do I get all the shirts and hats and everything else? A bunch of different companies. JiffyShirts.com is a great place to get shirts because their free shipping is really low, and you still get the wholesale prices that you would if you're ordering a big bulk. I get shirts for like $1.70 or something. Whoa. I'm thinking about painting a skateboard deck pretty soon, just for fun. Actually, that's the collaboration project, one of the ones that I'm thinking about, that I'm working with, what's his name, Resk? I forget his name, Resk12, I think. I'm a bad friend, I'm bad with names. But I'm gonna do a skateboard deck, horizontal, with one name on one side, one name on the other, and we're gonna try to integrate the names together in some way with a cohesive color scheme and whatnot. That'll be super dope. All in the planning stages. If anybody knows any other YouTubers or graffiti artists or people in general that want to do cool collaboration projects, I'm always open to do that sort of thing. Not always, I can't do everything, but I'm always looking for cool opportunities. I'll donate the deck. You can have a toy machine. Is Toy Machine still around? Is that still a skateboard company? It's like, is it Spitfire? Is it Spitfire? He's got that little, the flame character, dude. There's a person that I watched before. He hit 1M. His name is Doke. Doke. Doke is, I was talking about Doke earlier because 1000's commission piece is going to Doke. I was talking to Doke the other day. What was I going with this? Doke did a live stream 2 days ago. I guess, whenever it was. I sent him some artwork in his little artwork review thing, and it was pretty cool. Go check out if you want to. Doke did a live stream. It's still on his page. It's his most uploaded or most recent video. And he reviews my artwork like halfway through, or something like that. And he says some nice things about it that made me very happy. And he said some interesting things about airbrushing. Doke doesn't airbrush. He doesn't know anything about airbrushing. Which is what I mean by when I'm saying like airbrushing has such a negative reputation to it. It doesn't, right? I'm not the best graffiti artist in the world, but I am a pretty good airbrush artist. And people have a negative opinion about airbrushing because they haven't put the time into it to be able to get the detail that they want to, right? And he's looking at my video and he's like, that's a great can control. It's great can control. It's not a Canon, which he mentions too, but he's like, wow, I've never seen that with an airbrush before. You can do this with an airbrush. Graffiti artists, please buy an airbrush and try this. You know what I mean? So that's cool that he was mentioning that he hasn't seen airbrushing like that before, or at least complimenting that aspect of it. And I hope that it results in more people being open-minded about airbrushing in general. Practice, practice, practice. You talk with an accent. You sound like you from the South. I'm not really from the South. Everyone thinks that they don't have an accent, so I can't be like, I don't have an accent, because I have an American accent, I guess, or whatever. I'm from Virginia. I've been in Virginia since I was like 8. Actually, since I was like 6. I don't know. I'm probably the least cultured individual on this side of the Mississippi. Actually, probably on both sides of the Mississippi, either side. Oh no, I'm not disrespected by the accent thing. Everybody's got an accent to somebody, right? I've always been self-conscious about my voice. It used to be a lot worse. I used to just like subconsciously get in this state of like super mumbly, raspy, weird, nervous voice just for no reason, and I couldn't break out of it for years. And I finally I'm starting to overcome that. Big J. Just bought some markers on Amazon today. There's some off-brand markers. They're no Prismacolors or anything like that, or Molotov. They're just off-brand Amazon markers. But I'm stoked to be doing more work on paper. I don't know why I've been so interested in doing that lately. I should have moved that thing down. But I see a lot of other graffiti artists doing, I'm not just trying to copy all the graffiti artists, but I'm getting inspired by everybody, and I see that a lot of the work that they do is on paper. There's a lot of paint markers being used and stuff, and I'm looking at the projects that I'm working on, a lot of the things that I'm trying to airbrush, and I'm all about airbrushing. You know, I'm an airbrush advocate. I'm Dale the freaking airbrush guy, but a lot of the times airbrushing isn't the tool for the job, and I don't have in my bag of tricks or equipment anything really other than airbrushes. I don't really use paints or brushes. I don't use markers and stuff. I rarely ever even use a pencil. So I'm trying to widen my range of tools. things like this skateboard deck, which would be great to airbrush, would be something like a paint marker on top of that airbrush would be really useful, would be really helpful. So I'm gonna be Dale the airbrush and other stuff guy here pretty soon. Do you think airbrush clothing will be a new fashion item or trend, Dale? Let's address that a little bit. I've been in the airbrushing t-shirts as a full-time career for 11 years. Only thing I've ever done out of high school professionally. Actually, I did some web development, but that doesn't count. It's been my job for 11 years straight. There's never been a lack of customers to it. It's never been like, I can't find anybody that wants to buy a t-shirt. Granted, it's not the 80s and the 90s where everybody wore airbrush t-shirts. It's a different time. It's not everyone's favorite fashion choice, but it is a relevant one to some people. And there are, like 7.5 billion people on the planet, so there's always someone looking to buy whatever it is you're looking to sell, if you present it right. I don't know if it's going to be a mainstream fashion choice. I don't wear airbrush t-shirts. I don't wear airbrush anythings. Hey, Wicked Paint. I don't know. I have seen an increase in business. The reason the website is successful is because I'm a good search engine optimizer. I'm a good marketer and things like that. So I've seen, looking at search patterns and stuff, a major increase in searches for airbrush shirts and stuff like that. So I do think it's getting more popular, but I don't think we're going back to an age where everyone's going to be wearing airbrush t-shirts from the beach on the streets again. But I do hope that I can take stuff like this, which this isn't my favorite artwork or anything, but more graffiti style, modern style airbrush designs and make that cool again. Kind of just covered a lot of different topics. Probably the most relevant thing I can say is that in the last 2 years or so, I've had a lot of clothing companies, established and new ones, come to me wanting airbrush clothes for their businesses. So in that respect, I can say that there is some serious people wanting airbrush stuff and thinking that it would be successful. There's always going to be a market for it, but it's not always going to be everyone's favorite thing, right? Some people are just turned off by it in general. Inspired you to buy an airbrush. That's awesome. Go check out the link in my description for a link to an airbrush kit that I recommend. It's the same stuff I'm using right now. I actually have the kit that thing links to sitting behind me right now in a box, the whole kit with the air compressor and everything. And I need to make a review video on it. I've probably said this 100 times. But I'll be making a review video on this airbrush kit and like a whole how to set it up, how to get it started, and how to start painting your first steps as an airbrush artist and whatnot. Content video very soon. Yeah, Dylan, that's exactly right. The Keurig thing. I'm good at this. I'm good at airbrushing, right? It's been a great career, a great business strategy for me, and I do like the artwork that I'm making. I just don't want to wear it on a t-shirt, right? I think that's kind of, it's not my style, right? I know everyone's got their own style, right? And certainly not judging my customers for buying my products. I wouldn't wear this personally. I would love to have a cool graffiti piece hanging up on my wall somewhere, something like that. I really want to start doing murals. show you how to make art like that. Yeah, check it out. Here we go. I get a lot of questions about how can I learn to do art like you? Can you show me how to do that? And while yes, I can give you some tips and pointers, and I plan to do a lot of videos about like the things that I've learned, really you just gotta practice. You just gotta do it and keep sketching in. You know, no one can show you how to do your style of art. I mean, you can be inspired by anybody, but you gotta practice this skill. Everyone's got their own opinions on art too, what they think looks good, what they like and don't like, and you gotta figure out for yourself what it is you like and don't like, especially when it comes to your artwork. I can critique someone's piece and be like, well, the math here is weird and I don't understand why this line is here or there, or, you know, your shading and composition could be here or it's unbalanced, but I can't tell you whether or not it looks good because that's an objective opinion. I can tell you I don't like it or I do like it, but I can't, you know. When it comes to graffiti letters and, you know, some of the rules that I follow while I'm making them, I tell myself consistency is key. And what I'm thinking about when I say that is the shape of my letters, or the thickness of my letters. I want that to be consistent throughout it. You see that every bar here and here and here and here and here, everything is the same kind of thickness. There can be variations, but even those variations follow a rule. Or you have a thin line, which is the same thickness as the thin line here, and you got there's consistency to things. Consistency is what your brain relies on to recognize things. Humans are great pattern recognizers. So if they can find a pattern in your artwork or your lettering or something like that, then your brain's going to be like, oh, I like this because it follows rules. Whereas too much chaos can be interesting, but your brain gives up and goes, I don't want to process this anymore. Sorry. Just getting to learn my airbrush. This is a learning curve, says the old stonard. You are doing good. I've watched a couple of your live streams, most of them after the fact. I haven't been able to catch them live, but I see what you're doing. I see your progress. You are doing the right thing, man. And I always say this too, your airbrushing skill is a separate skill from your artistic skill. This tool is kind of difficult to learn. There's a learning curve to airbrushing, even if you're already a great artist. I compare the airbrush to like an instrument that you have to learn. It's like playing the guitar. It takes a little while, a couple days, to even hold the thing comfortably and right, and you know, and feel like you're strumming the right strings with it. You know, you have to learn this instrument itself, and then you can start applying your artistic skill to it. Which is why I would say, if you're trying to learn graffiti and airbrushing, I think you should learn them both independently. You should sketch your letters on paper with a pencil, and you should paint them with an airbrush later or something. Would it be hard to shift this style of graffiti to realistic and technical airbrush illustrations? If you are able to control your airbrush well, again, it's kind of a different, your airbrush skill is different from your art skill. If you can control your airbrush well, then it's a great tool to do realistic technical stuff with, because you have such a variety of shapes and thicknesses and lines that you can do with the same tool. From a hairline, detailed line, all the way up to a big fill or a fade. the gradients that you can get and the shading that you can do with the same tool without making any changes to settings. That's not something you see in any other tool. So airbrushing is great for that. And graffiti, you're talking specifically about taking a graffiti style and turning it into realistic technical drawing. Graffiti is actually a great start, or it's not a great start, I don't know the order of operations here, but the graffiti style involves a lot of technical lines. There's a lot of, I don't know if you'd call it math because it's not really numbers, but there's a lot of logic and math in what I'm doing. Maybe not particularly these, I'm kind of knocking them out pretty quick. But the rules that you follow, I call them the algorithms that you use to create your letters in these shapes, are the same shapes and rules that you find in nature and you find in architecture and everywhere else. You follow some consistent rules to build your letters. The shading especially, you think about where light's coming from and how it's bouncing and stuff. It's the same principles that you'd find in any kind of artwork. Mike's gonna get a loopy lowercase e. Hugh's on Q is talking about a tool. I don't want to talk about it because I'm not 100% sure that it is what I think it is. But if it is what I think it is, don't buy that thing. First of all, I don't like that you hopped in and started advertising, but whatever, that's not the problem. If it is what I think it is, which is a big long thing with a bunch of different paint bottles in it, and then at the end of that thing, which is a hose that goes all the way through your airbrush, there's a little nozzle here to switch colors back and forth. There's a great idea in thought and a terrible idea in practice, because what happens is every time you switch colors, a little bit of that color mixes each time, and after a while every color is gray and brown and muddy, and it doesn't work out well. Cleaning it is a nightmare. Again, I'm not 100% sure that's what he is talking about, but if that is, then be wary of that product. There's a reason that professionals don't use that product or any product like that. It's because it doesn't work very well and is unnecessary. I kind of want to stop and Google it, but I'm not going to do it right now. My volume might be very low. It probably is. I've noticed my mic was pretty low today. Mike. It's kind of below me. I'm trying to keep it out of the way so I don't bump it. Wicked Paint is saying some very true things. He's saying that realistic portraits take a lot more patience. Very true. If I was doing something, what I'm doing right now is laying down opaque colors very quickly to do a messy, relatively messy graffiti job on a hat. If I was painting something like a portrait or a vehicle portrait or some fine art or something, I would be using transparent colors. I would be taking a very long time. I would be building up layers of paint slowly. I would be masking and using straight edges sometimes. But the same principles apply for like shading and everything else. I'm kind of impatient as an artist. My attention span is pretty low. I like to finish my artwork in one sitting if I have to come back to it, I always come back to it as kind of like a chore. Like I really just, I want to do something different now. I'm ready to move on to the next project. Maybe that's from me painting t-shirts for so long that take 20 minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes to paint and being done moving on to the next project, that I'm conditioned to just work quickly and move on. I do need to get some mods in here. I definitely need to make Dylan a mod. I can tell a dad joke. Why does the light bulb want to change? LOL. Ouch. Yeah, I'll make Dylan a mod. I just keep forgetting to do that. Dylan, I hereby officially present you with the opportunity and request to be a moderator of Dale the Airbrush Guys live stream chat. Do you accept? Mic is complete. Pretty sweet, pretty neat. Oh, you certainly don't have to be in every stream or anything like that, but if you are here, then giving you some extra power and authority might be cool. Alright, MJ. 2 letters. They're gonna be fancy and big. Need to clean out my airbrush. This is weird. I don't know if I like that. BRB. So you're trying to unscrew the wrong part of my airbrush. Alright, enough talking about those people. I don't know anything about that company. They might have a great product. They might not. And they went the wrong way about advertising it, for sure. But, I don't care about that type of thing too much. If you really wanted to advertise your product, you would have reached out to me and asked me what my thoughts were on it, and if I would like to mention it on my channel or anything like that, or if I would like to try it. What you did is the equivalent of seeing a newscaster on TV and taking your pants off and running across the screen to get attention. And that's not cool. It doesn't hurt me, it didn't take anything away from me, I don't really care, but it just makes it, honestly, as far as internet etiquette goes, it does just make you look bad as an advertiser. That's not how things are done here. Regardless of your product, it's not how we operate. I mean, you could have came in and had like a conversation about it and asked what I think about it, or if anybody's ever used it. You just came in and like spammed a spam message, copy and pasted some link to your, it's just not, no effort was put in there. Well, they responded like a person, the second time at least. Challenge your aptitude with new tools. Tree dart. Enough said. Okay. Well, I, for one, am honored that my stream was targeted for this cool advertisement. Looks homemade from syringes and not relative to airbrush and all. Yeah, I guess it is just some spot. Whatever. Done talking about it. I don't care. If it was made with syringes, then I think it is exactly what the product I was talking about it is. Yeah, I'm trying to paint a skateboard deck. Had a good trip going skiing? Yes, I did. I pretended that I never stopped skiing, so I just started as if I knew what I was doing, and it worked out for the most part. I don't fall down a whole lot unless I'm being dumb, which I fell down a lot because I was being dumb, but I'm just sore. That's all it is. I'm sore. I'm better now. I'm not a super old man or anything. I'm just a couple days ago. Ready to take a nap. It was good. We got to stay in a cabin for the first time. Usually when I go skiing, it's just a day trip, but being able to spend the night there meant I could relax and ski at my own pace, which was way too fast. Come back to the cabin and have lunch. It's not a cabin, it was just one of the little hotel rooms, which was cool. My wife says the next trip has to be to the beach. No more snow for her. should add some bits to your letters, like broken off pieces, like chips and extra blocks, extra bars, for sure. When I do personal work, I do a lot more of that. Right now, I don't want to say I'm limited because I can probably do kind of whatever I want to do, really. But I'm following an example photo that I provided the customer. This is a regular listing. This is an Etsy order. So I'm trying to do what they ordered and not deviate too much from that. And it's a bulk order. And they get group discounts and everything. These are relatively inexpensive hats for what they are. So, long story short, I'm not trying to spend too much time on them. Trying to keep them simple. I noticed a lot of my customers that come from Etsy specifically are looking for, they don't want super elaborate graffiti. They can't read it. A lot of people are like, I can't read graffiti, and they have this mental block and they can't make out simple letters because they can't read graffiti. And my customers, typical airbrush customers, don't want, they definitely want to be able to read their stuff. They're not interested in the graffiti style of things. So I'm always weary a little bit to make things hard to read. But I'm definitely in the process of adding a lot more detail and layers and bits, etc. to my letters and my personal work, and then taking some of that personal work and putting it on the website so that customers can expect that sort of thing from those sorts of designs. I still need to clean this airbrush. You can do it. You can do it too. There it goes. Meh. It's got a booger in there somewhere I gotta get out. But I'm not gonna do it right now. Looks like it doesn't have anything to do with airbrushing, Dylan says. I agree. The way he was explaining it, he was talking about a bunch of paints and mediums that aren't airbrush related. Start my music back up. Wireless mouse for the win. I need a better playlist also for music here. I like the music that's on here, but I need more music, more variety. We always have the exact same playlist so far when we stream. Not even shuffled. That's something Dylan would be good at too. Who votes Dylan should have a job at Airbrush Customs? Unfortunately, I cannot pay you. It's volunteer work. You post your stuff anywhere would be cool to see. I do. I have an Instagram. I have a TikTok. A lot of what has gotten me the following that I have has been my shorter format videos. I've only been live streaming for a while, and as you can see, what do we have, like 30 people in here? Live streams get some attention, some great, awesome chat, but they're not nearly as big as like the content that I post on my short content gets, right? So yeah, if you want to see what I'm doing here and don't have an hour and a half to watch me paint, go check me out on Instagram, or check out my YouTube shorts, check out my TikTok. Heck, follow me on Snapchat if you want to. You can't do it. Just watch The Waterboy with my son on the weekend. I haven't seen The Waterboy in a while. I like Big Daddy's my favorite Adam Sandler movie. and then Happy Gilmore for sure. Actually, he did a new one with Jennifer Aniston. What's that called? They're on a boat. It's a mystery. Spence. It's called Murder Mystery. That's what it is. Why do you use Thayer and Chandler airbrushes? Technically, Badger bought Thayer and Chandler, or I don't know, that's might not be right. Badger and Thayer and Chandler kind of merged somehow. This line, the Vegas, used to be Thayer and Chandler's. These Omni 3000s are now Badger products, and I use them because they're super dope. I also use these no-name airbrushes because they are super dope. And I started out with Paches, I've used Iwatas, I've used pretty much every airbrush out there. It doesn't matter, that's why, because I can do the same thing with any airbrush brand. It's really not too much about the airbrush that you use, it's about your skill with the airbrush. I see a lot of people that are super duper loyal to particular brands of airbrushes. Most of those people are really particular about Iwata airbrushes. And they think that you're not a real artist unless you use that type of airbrush. And I think those people are quite silly. I can do the same thing with a stick in the mud. It's not about the brand of airbrush you use. And not just to people that are super loyal about a particular brand, but people that are trying to get into airbrushing that are so concerned with what type of airbrush they get and what equipment they get. Again, it doesn't matter that much. There are obviously pros and cons, and as a professional you would develop a preference and things like that, but as a beginner airbrush artist, you won't even know the difference between these different brands of airbrushes, and it does not matter. Back to the learning an instrument analogy that I use often, when you're getting started airbrushing, just like you're getting started learning an instrument, just go to Walmart and get a first act airbrush. Just go get a cheap little airbrush and learn how to use it. And then as you develop some skill and you know what the heck you're talking about, know what you're looking for and what you can feel the difference of and whatnot, then you can start to upgrade and look at other things. Luckily, this off-brand, it's called a no-name airbrush, and there's a reason for that. Because it's made in China, and it's not an Iwata airbrush, it's not a Badger airbrush, it's a non-branded type of airbrush, but it is great quality. It's not the cheap ones, it's not a master airbrush that's going to break. It is a very good airbrush, it just doesn't have a name brand to it. So it's called, literally, the no-name airbrush, and it's very reasonably priced for what it is, and it's here I am using it right now as a professional. I'm very happy with it. I've always been against brands about anything. Like, I won't wear clothing brands. If you're wearing a Supreme shirt, I just immediately think less of you. I'm sorry that offends anybody. I don't know, man. I know that there's quality differences in things. I understand that. I understand buying good equipment and good clothes even and stuff and whatever, but when people are all about the name of a company instead of all about the quality of a product, then your head's in the wrong spot and you're being a weird American consumer, and I don't like American consumers. Capitalism is stupid. Pache VL, the original. That's what I started with and I used for years. That is where it's at. I hear you. We called them the pickles. They weren't straight like this. They have like a curved body. It looked like a little football. It wasn't that exaggerated, but it kind of looked like that. Never hear a compressor kicking the other end. That's because my compressor is a a Husky from Home Depot, and it's outside. It's a big old industrial construction style air compressor. Because again, the compressor doesn't matter. All it's doing is compressing air for you, just blowing up. It's just an air source. I could use a foot pedal and go chuk, chuk, chuk. It doesn't matter. I mean, that wouldn't matter because it wouldn't really be consistent and be a pain in the butt, but it could be done. Sorry. Alright, white highlights on this one, and then I'm done with these hats. What time is it? It's almost 4 o'clock. I've got to go to the post office for these today because I told the lady that I would, and I'm a man of my word. So basically what I'm saying is we're about to end this stream. If there's any final questions or anything like that, I'd be happy to answer them now. And I'm going to hop off here in a minute so I can do the administrative part of my day. I guess this is a good time to say thank you to all of the members that are, the members. Thank you to my members for supporting me on this channel for $2 a month. Thank you for the super chats and the support. Thank you guys for the awesome conversation and for the encouragement and optimism that you guys show me all the time. It's super dope. Yeah. We did these hats, and I'm glad that you were here with me, and I'm going to see you guys later.